Hi, I'm Garrett Lawler from Zendesk. I've always been passionate about helping businesses enhance their customer care on the best CX platform available, and exploring various aspects of customer experience is what brings me to Speaker Spotlight. So thanks for joining us today. We're celebrating CX leaders, developers, and innovators who approach customer experiences with forward-thinking methods and strategic foresight. If this is your first time watching our collaborative series, here we aim to delve into stories from across the industry, highlighting how a customer-centric mindset and cutting-edge solutions can really drive breakthrough successes as well as valuable learning opportunities. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Megan Bauer. Hey Megan, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm excited to hear about your journey and the company Reprise. So on that note, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, your journey, and the organization itself?
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Garrett, for having me. Thank you, Zendesk. Just a little bit about myself. So my name is Megan Bauer. I spent my whole career in the customer success industry. I've always been in technology startups, but through recent acquisitions, I found myself getting a lot of exposure to Fortune 100 companies and large technology firms. But I've always been a part of and led global customer success organizations and had a knack for interacting with the customers. And then specifically, just my favorite part about the role is I love seeing individuals succeed due to using your technology and watching them progress in their careers. A little bit about Reprise. So we've kind of pioneered the demo creation category, and we are the only company to deliver a platform that captures your application at the code level and then also injects AI-generated data so that your sales team can run fully interactive, reliable demo environments. We're trusted by lots of enterprises, Databricks, Dell, MongoDB, Zendesk. They all trust Reprise to serve over 1 million demos per year, which is some great numbers there. Specifically within the customer success function of Reprise, we have a pretty mature structure that we've built out. We have a strong kind of cohort of a support team, professional services, customer success managers, and customer enablement. So we take customer success very seriously over here at Reprise.
With a few clicks, Reprise creates a clone of the front end of your product that you can customize endlessly. Craft the perfect demos, guiding your customer to all those wow moments. Reprise makes it easy to change things around as much as you want. Graphics, data, names, and you can tailor it for all the different verticals, healthcare, finance, whatever. Make the perfect demos that run like you always dreamed.
This is all the stuff that I need to do, but easier and faster. Yeah.
Reprise.
Very good. So it sounds like the customer is very much at the center of what you do. But yeah, naturally enough, being in the sales organization, it's great to see technologies like yourself making the life a bit easier for account executives. Just on the customer experience side in particular, can you tell me a bit around kind of the journey on that side, kind of some of the challenges you faced prior to maybe setting up a full kind of a customer experience team?
Yeah, definitely. So Reprise was founded in early 2020, of course, kind of at the beginning of the COVID era, if you will. And that was the time when companies had a lot of money, people were shifting to remote work, organizations needed the tools and whatnot to support that transition. And then, of course, a couple of years into the COVID era, if you will, things leveled out. Companies, they maybe weren't hiring as much, or there was some scrutiny around budgets and things of that nature. And I think that's kind of when we learned at Reprise that there's a ton of tools, there's a ton of software out there. And if you are doing the B2B sales, especially to large enterprise organizations, it's kind of become, the SaaS world is more of a people business. And the customers decide whether they want to expand or renew with you based a lot of times on your account team there, right? So I think for us, we recognize that and we opted to build out this strong customer success group so that we could support our customers from that people business standpoint and then develop the relationships with the people we worked with frequently. And that ultimately prompted that mature CS structure.
Very good. No, it makes complete sense. And can you talk about maybe your longer term strategy from a customer experience standpoint? Like what happens next? Like, are you evolving? Like, there's a lot of change in the environment. I'm just wondering what you're planning from a CX standpoint at Reprise.
Yeah. So kind of how I just highlighted above, right? The SaaS industry, if you will, or SaaS services, it's become a people business, right? And so you can differentiate yourself by prioritizing those face-to-face meetings with your customers and getting in front of them in person. I know a boss of mine, he said it very well. It's you can maintain relationships virtually, but you cannot build on them, right? So I think the strategy for us is a lot about creating that people or face-to-face interactions. But that being said, we know that an individual or a group of individuals, groups of CSMs, account teams, whatever, they can't give all of their support and love to a single book of business. It's ultimately not scalable, right? So you have to couple that in-person connection with your digital engagement motion so you can have that broad and effective reach. So that includes taking advantage of customer success management platforms or customer service platforms like Zendesk and creating resources and assets for your customers like a training academy or knowledge center so you can give them that full breadth of support from not only a human level, but also at a digital level.
Yeah, it's a key balance, right? It's a tricky one, I think, for every organization. Like, do you pivot one way or do you pivot the other? So great to see how you're thinking about that long term. And then naturally enough, one key focus here for a lot of organizations is kind of embracing that step or putting their toe in the water around AI. Like, what's your view of that kind of stepping stone into AI, and what does that look like for Reprise?
Yeah, AI, it's all the rage now, right? It's everywhere. Every company, it's in every conversation, right? Which I think is great. And I think you have to be on the forefront of that. I think in some ways, for what makes someone an excellent customer success individual is being able to anticipate the next, 1, 2, 3 questions that a customer is going to potentially ask you, right? And I think the way that AI can play into that is they can augment that quickly because AI tools or technologies can analyze a lot of data points or usage points, and it can give you the prompts to engage with your customers at a sooner and more meaningful way. And so it can give you the insight into some of those leading indicators, which allows you to strengthen your abilities to answer your customers' questions and ultimately enhance the customer's strategy and experience with the platform that they're using. So I think everything's kind of getting married together, and AI is going to continue, of course, to inform how we interact with our customers there.
Okay, cool. So what specific AI technologies or tools in general are you curious about in the space, and especially when you think about the future of your customer experience strategy?
Yeah, so anytime I am thinking about different technologies or different tooling, I always ask, how are we operating today, and can we do it better? Can we do it faster, automated, et cetera, right? So where is there an opportunity for us to repurpose an individual's mundane task and apply an AI agent to that to make it operate better, right? So for us, the number one focus is retaining customers. And you can implement predictive churn models using AI that can tell you at a higher level of accuracy and much farther out which customers are at risk so you can best retain them, right? They have examples of, identifying risk 1 year, 2 years out, whatever it might be, and get you in front of that much sooner. Now, on the flip side of that, while churn and reducing that is super critical, we know that earlier in the equation, there's the element of onboarding, right? And that can be super impactful from a customer's experience. If they have a positive onboarding journey, then they have a higher likelihood of renewal, right? So leveraging AI to more quickly get your customers implemented onto your platform is ultimately going to have a positive downstream impact. And then there's, of course, like the middle of the journey, right? So the middle of that customer experience or customer journey map. And that's focusing on things like ticket avoidance or generating assets that answer customer questions much quicker. So currently we have a great team, an enablement team who creates a lot of our knowledge base articles by analyzing common tickets, but how about leveraging an AI knowledge base feature within Zendesk to do that for you, right? So thinking about it from every step of the journey and how you can apply things to make that, to make the customer experience be more seamless and better.
So what signs or challenges in your current customer experience setup make you think that integrating AI might be beneficial?
Yeah, so I think every company is coming out with a new AI feature right now that can enhance the overall experience. There's a lot of noise out there. Some of the AI elements are more effective probably than others, right? So with any of the tooling that you consider, it's important to be thoughtful about what you're implementing, what the costs of it are, what the impacts it might have on how you operate, and ultimately, like, what is going to be the impact on your most important assets, which for us is our customers, right? There's a lot of people, there's a lot of businesses that are on the forefront of these AI AI technologies, but there's also a lot of people who haven't made that shift yet. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a balancing act to introduce the AI elements to your customers, and in some ways make it so they have no idea that they are speaking with an AI, kind of a robot, if you will. And so making them comfortable with it, right? I was actually talking to someone recently about voice AI, and where you call into a call center and the person on the other end that you're speaking to is actually not a real human, but they're answering all your questions. I think this is super evolutionary, but for some people, it's going to be a little spooky, right? And so everybody is at, like I said, these different stages within their AI journey. And it's important to remember that so that you can introduce it methodically in ways that make more sense, versus just kind of forcing it on your team or on your customers right away, because people will not respond in the exact same way.
Yeah, great advice. And what concerns or challenges do you see specifically, or do you anticipate when implementing AI in Reprise?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that there's kind of a hybrid approach for everything. And as I've called out a little bit in this conversation, my theme with SaaS is it's a people business, right? And so I think AI can help us work smarter, but it's also going to be the hybrid approach of the AI technology and the human interaction that provides the customer with the best experience possible. So being thoughtful about how you roll it out internally to your customers, as I highlighted, be willing to adjust and iterate on your strategy, listening to the real feedback from your customers, but also not standing in your way if technology can do things quicker. I think at the end of the day, it's important to remember, as of right now, the person signing the checks for your software at least is a human. So there is some level of kind of that human interaction you got to maintain. And so implementing that hybrid model gives your customer the best possible outcome.
Mm-hmm. No, great thoughts. And look, the space is moving very, very quickly. So when you're anticipating future trends in AI for customer experience, what emerging trends or innovations in AI are you aware of? You mentioned voice a minute ago, but are there trends you're aware of, and what do you think the impact could be on customer experience overall?
Yeah, I thought this was a great question, an interesting question. So I put it through ChatGPT to see what they would spit out for me, because I'm not good at predicting the future, but that's what AI is here for, right? A lot of the trends that were coming through that I saw that, I think makes sense, right? And again, talk to what we've spoken to with the human element of it, is trying to get AI closer to have that human-like experience and having it better understand context, right? So doubling down on the voice assistants, or having digital humans and avatars, or even doing some sort of emotional analysis so you can more relate maybe to what the AI technology is providing you, right? So I think those developments in AI are probably going to be a lot of what we see in the near future. And I think if they can help get a customer the proper answers to the questions that they have sooner, then it's going to be a really great experience. But if it introduces unnecessary friction and makes things more challenging, customers are going to feel frustrated, right? So it's only going to be a matter of time, or time will tell, if you will, whether that's going to be the best experience for the customers or not. But I think incorporating any of those new technologies in some capacity is likely going to have a better and more enhanced experience for your customer, which, as I've mentioned many times, is your most important asset.
Yeah, no, I agree. So definitely keeping the customer at the heart of everything, I think, is the biggest, the most important takeaway. Look, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. I've really enjoyed hearing all the different ideas and thoughts and plans you've put in place at Reprise and your journey as well. So thanks so much for sharing those with us, and best of luck with everything in the future.
Thank you. Happy to share, always.